Right, well it's Margaret and I'm back again, and I've run out of my fertilised water, and what I usually do is the big 70 litre spray bottle, I fill that up twice and then I do a what we call a flushing. So it's one of these well, more or less comment provoking videos, feeding and fertilising and watering. Right, watering, we call watering and flushing. That is either RO water, rainwater, whatever. It could be tap water if you're somewhere where the TDS is very low. So that's what we call water and flushing. And feeding and fertilising, as far as I'm concerned, means the same thing. There's no difference, there's no differential at all. But people get confused because they say, oh well, that's wrong. Well, when it comes to feeding, flushing, fertilising, watering, it's all the same. We all find something that works for us, and this is how I do it with mine. So this big container here, that gets filled with the rainwater, and that, fortunately for me, that goes in the airing cupboard and it's always warm. Now I have two ways of doing my feeding. I call it feeding, some call it fertilising, I call it feeding. Okay, and I have this one, which is CalMag, quite strong that, you have to be careful. Or, now that's already mixed up, the CalMag, that's chelated, I think that's the word. Or you can make your own up, which is Epsom salts, which I always used to do, and calcium nitrate. The only thing with these two is that they're not chelated together, so you have to separately dissolve them, and then when you separately dissolve them, then you can mix them together. Okay, but we're not using that today. We're using the CalMag. And then for some reason, when I use the CalMag, my pH goes above 7. And don't ask me why. I've no idea why. So I have a pH down. But this is lethal. This pH down, if you put a spot too much, you're down to 2.5. And you know, we're looking at a pH between 5.6 and 6.6. I mean, the figure we should all be aiming for is 5.8. If you're a new subscriber, I would suggest you go on to Rick L's channel, RIC capital L. And he's a gentleman that's renowned for nutrition. Unfortunately, he doesn't do YouTube videos anymore, but we are always thankful to Rick L. So that's the pH down, and then we have various things. I've not brought them up. I mean, I have a seaweed extract, which I use. That colours the water quite dark, but today I'm not using that. I have these little bottles here, which came from Orchids, and this is just a, as I say, a proprietary mix. They put you a free one, so I've got loads of these, and their NPK is 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So, I mean, I can put 2 teaspoons of that in and it's hardly going to make any difference. Or I've got this other one. This is one I've had for, I can't tell you how long I've had this. And that's the Mac beans. They're no longer in business. And you'll see what their ingredients are there. Okay, and what I also have is deionised water. Can you see that? Dirt cheap this is. Deionised water. And what I do with that is I always, before I use my pH meter, I put it in some deionised water. Okay, and that stabilises it. Right, so I get my little glasses. These came with some Christmas mousse in or something. Okay, now I'm going to stand up because this is one of those jobs where I need to stand up. Okay, so now let's see if I can, just hold on. And I always have a cloth, because when you shake these things, there's always some liquid that comes out of them, so I just try and gently just tip it up and down. But first of all, let's just check the TDS of this rainwater. Okay, so we'll switch it on, that's always nil, which is wonderful for me. And I just enter that there. Now, can you see that? Now I don't understand why this rainwater, the pH is going up. I don't know whether it's because we've had a lot of rain, I've no idea, but that was only 82 for the last batch and now it's 102. But we don't worry about that, it's just that's what it is. And let's do the temperature. Let's take it off hold, and the temperature is 22. Okay, so we're looking at 102, right? So I'm going to put some CalMag in now. So 102, I need to go, you see I eyeball all this, you know, it's not one of those measurements now that I've just got to put so much in. I just eyeball it. That's probably a bit too much. Don't put enough in. You see, the thing is, if I don't put enough in to start with, then and then I try and add some, that's when I come into difficulty. That's probably too much. See, the CalMag is quite strong. So, I'm just going to put that much in to start with and then see what it turns out like. That's the obligatory stir. And let's just check this TDS before I do the pH. Okay, on. That's 140. It was 102. So with 38. 38. See, that's not a lot. 38. I could do really with just putting a drop more of that in. Let's just see. This is where you've got to be careful now. If I just happen to put, see, can you see that little tiny bit? Now you watch that. I'm not putting any more in. Well, let's just have a look. Oh, take that off. On. 154. That'll do me. 154. There we go. Can you see? Can you see with the light? 154. So I'm happy with that. 154. Okay. Let's just switch that off for a minute now. And I'm only going to put some of this in. the 151515. And the reason I'm only going to put a bit of that in is because I'm 154 already, and I don't want to, I don't really want to add too much. Okay. Now normally what I would have done then is tested the pH before I'd put this other NPK in, but the pH meter has to stabilise, which can take quite a bit of time. There's another little clean glass. So this has been stood in pH, sorry, in deionised water. Now I can't get you close enough now. I wanted to get you closer. Oh, tell you what, there's always something to hand. Okay, and we're close enough. Right, because this is the bit that drives everybody crackers, and it used to drive me absolutely insane, because I could never understand why everything altered when you put nutrients in. But just before I forget, let me just check what this is. Right, I forgot to tell you, didn't I? Let's see if it'll allow me to hold it. So with that little bit of NPK, we went up to 172. Can you see 172? So we're on 172. See, that's why you have to have a cloth. Okay. And the one that dropped is the deionised water, which I can't do without. I have to have this deionised water, because every time I need to check the pH, I have to have the deionised water, which stabilises it. And you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference in the colour. Right. Okay. So let's give it a go now. So that's the deionised water. I've got this cloth dripping on me now, and this is the fertilised water. Okay. So I'll take it out of that one and put it straight into there. And this is where we have to wait a minute or two. Well, you're not going to believe this. Blow me down. Oh no, it's moved. I just came in and it was 5.96, and I just knocked it like that and it's gone to 707. Now let's just see. Don't know whether you're seeing this, what I'm seeing. Can you see how it does that? See with this one, it doesn't allow. See, 5.96, then it goes to 7. Oh, blow me down. Let's switch it off again. Put it in the. I think I might have to recalibrate this if it's doing that. Right, so I've put it back now. In the deionised water. Right, so let's have another look now. This is why people don't put these on videos, because it takes such a long time, and then it's such, you know, it's thought evoking, and well, I don't do it this way and I don't do it that way. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, as long as you get the result that you're giving the right kind of nutrient to your orchids. Right, so let's just have a look if it'll allow me to. That's 6.59. So I don't know whether you're seeing what I'm doing. Yeah, 6.87, 6.98, 7. 7.7, 7.09, 7.10, 718, 721. So that does mean I'm going to have to put some pH down in it now. Okay, I think we've come out at 7.41. Can you see that? And is it still rising? Now you see 7.37. That's why you have to wait. 7.39, 7.41, 43. It can take about 15 minutes for this to actually stabilise, and then it starts to flash. So we're up to 7.46. $7.48, $7.50. You see it flash between 48 and 50. Okay. Right, so I'm going to take 7.48. Right, so this is the pH down. You see that bit there, just at the end, is of this pipette. There's hardly any. I've got to be ever so careful because this is lethal. About 2 drops out. And if it drops it to 2 or 3, that means I've got to add bicarbonate of soda to bring the pH up. I tell you, it's quite a difficult process getting all this nutrient right. Okay, let's bring the tray back up. Now let's just, for argument's sake, just check the pH. Now I've just put the pH down. It's just dropped it 2 points. Oh no, it's dropped it again. It was 172, now we've gone down to 169. I don't know what the significance of that is. Okay, so we'll take some out of there. Bring the tray back up. I'll sit down for a minute. Bring the pH meter back. See? See, it's dropping like a stone. We're down to 4.21 now. 4.19. 4.16. Okay. This is going to go down to 4. Well, this is where now you're starting to juggle, because I've got to go now and get some Epsom salts. Not Epsom salts, bicarbonate of soda. Right, we're on 4.03. Okay, I'm going to switch that off, put it back in the deionised water. Right. Bicarbonate of soda. That rises the pH. And again, like with the pH down, you can also buy pH up. But I haven't got any pH up, so again, you see, I use this little pipette. And what I have to do is just keep putting a little bit in at a time. That's probably too much now, you see. And this is how it is sometimes. And in the end, you just think, oh. Okay. That was the other fertilised water. Pop that in there. We'll take some more. And usually by this time I'm getting that frustrated with it all, that I just think, well, whatever it comes out now, whether it's high or low, it'll just have to do. So Okay. Well, we're on 564, 69, 571, 573, 575, things are looking up, 576, 578, 5.8. Now that's the optimum, 5.8. We're going slightly higher than that, 584. It's flashing between 584. No, we've gone from 5.8, oh hold on, it's still going. Right, so we're going to take that figure now. Can you see? Don't know if this is the best way to show you. 580, 591 at the moment. You're able to see that. 592. I mean, this will take about 10 minutes to stabilise. $5.96. I mean, I don't mind if it just goes over to, there we are, we're hitting 6 now. But I think the speed at which it's altering is starting to slow down. So at the very most, we might get to 6.304, something like that. There, 6.3. So I'll switch that off now. You see, the movies, we've gone down to 589, 591 again. So I'm satisfied now. Switch that off. That water can go back in there. And this batch of feed is now ready to go into the big, oh dear, we've got hailstones. Hold on. Right, I've just rushed through into the back bedroom and we've got brilliant sunshine, look at that. But listen at the hailstone. That means that all the gas and everything else will be getting battered by the hailstone. There we go. Oh dear. And the frogs are back. They're absolutely loving it. It won't last for long. There you see. Right, so I'm back in the grow room now, and I shall, like I said, I shall fill my big container with this nutrient, and that'll last me for another couple of days. And there you can see the frags here. Sorry, not the frags, the vandas. And that vanda that I had in that hanging basket, well, in the end, I decided that it was, when it was hanging in that window, it was getting too exposed to the light. So I've put it in a terracotta, a nice terracotta plant, and it's firmly in there. And there's the other one, you see. And that's the other one. And I was watching Stephen Van Kempen-Lewis. He's an associate of the M.E.s, he's an associate judge, and a very interesting person he is. And he'd got a community pot of cattleyas, and he was potting them on into individual pots, and he staked every one. If it just had a little tiny wobble, he staked it. So that's what I've done with mine. I've staked them, so you know, there's no chance of them wobbling at all. And I'm quite chuffed with that. So right, so the watering now will just be normal, the normal watering I'm going to finish off later. And of course the frags, all the phragmipediums which are here, they're not subject to this fertilisation. I water and feed them separately. And I think everything else, that was that Phalaenopsis that I watered, and I've put that back now. And so I'm going to take my leave of you, and as I say, this is a very thought-provoking process, the feeding stroke fertilising, and you know, it doesn't really matter which way you do it, as long as you're giving your orchids some kind of nutrition. So thank you for joining me again, and we'll be back soon. Bye bye now.